So, after your ordeal in the kobold nest, the 5 of you, because Sky's already up at the wagon having a nap, trudge your way back up the hill. It's still raining, drizzly, sort of sleet pouring down on you. You're all covered in a lot of dust and rubble. You arrive up to the car, and Lucy, the wagon driver, is sort of sat looking around quite uncomfortably and nervously, and then sees the 5 of you, and her eyes go wide and says, "What the fuck happened to you? Are you okay?" It's at this moment that you take a moment to look down and notice you've all got not just rubble dust, but a lot of blood stains, and all of you look quite a bit worse for wear and very bedraggled. Lucy asks, What happened? I didn't get much from the other one. She said there was dinosaurs?
Yeah, that's about what we picked up.
First things first, I need a shower. Now.
You need that taken out your arm as well.
Shower first.
Shower first, life-saving surgery second.
Just wash out.
He then grabs the scrap metal and just pulls it out.
Right, okay, roll something for that. Roll 20. Yeah, you're a tough kid.
I'm a tough kid.
Yeah, so that really hurts. Like this was not a cleanly forged bit of metal. This was, I think, as I said before, just bits of scrap strapped with like baling twine to a stick. So pulling that out is not fun. But you'd manage it impressively well, and you managed to even keep a straight face and look cool while you did it.
I made like direct eye contact with Druid while I'm doing it.
Oh, you are bleeding a little bit though.
It spurts all over him.
Do we have any medical supplies that we could use between the group?
Well, I have some rudimentary healing items and abilities. So, if you form an orderly queue, we'll start matching people up.
Jen stops to hold you. Fix it.
I'm going to play the charity begins at home card. So I'm going to start patching myself up.
Yeah, give me a heal check just to kind of disinfect. What did you roll?
2.
2. This is the thing, like, you're not so used to doing this on yourself. Like, usually you're doing it on someone else, or like someone else will patch you up. And it's a really messy wound as well. Like, it's not like you've been hit with a blade. It's sort of jagged teeth marks, and it hurts a lot. And you're getting water in all the disinfectant.
I believe you can sterilise your hands in the dirt.
See, yeah, like, what did you roll a 2?
I rolled a 2.
You didn't even do a passable job of that. No, it's fucked.
Who's next on the dice of magic healing?
Yeah, after you've
next
seen
on the
the
death
job
train?
that York has done of his own.
Maybe start on a smaller wound?
I'll start and then build up, shall we? Okay.
Yeah, basically all you need to do for them is just kind of disinfect.
Oh, I can get 15 for you, can't I?
Yeah. I'm suddenly feeling much better. Thank you.
Good.
It's starting to fester.
To be fair, you do just kind of look like that.
17.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, you say you're very good at doing this on other people for like quite light wounds. Yeah.
Is there anyone
Once you're done with that and everyone's settled back on the wagon, Lucy actually gives you a quick nod and sort of tries to pull you to one side.
Oh, okay.
So if you follow her, she kind of leads you sort of away from the car behind a nearby tree and says, "Give me a quick like debrief of what happened down there."
Well, we went looking for the monsters that we were concerned about, and you didn't want to go any further without. We found them. Some of us did well fighting them off. Some of us did less well, but fight them off we did. And the road ahead is now clear to travel.
Watch the shifters. One of them came back before you and told me you were all dead and tried to get me to leave without you. I'm a little worried they might try to rob us if they get the chance.
Way ahead of you.
Whoa.
I trust them less than I could throw them because I could probably throw them quite a long way.
This is speciesism.
Right,
I
okay.
know, could you...
And like she looks back at the cart just to make sure it is still there. Leads you back to the cart. That's all good.
Okay.
With that, you set off on the wagon now through the remains of this ruined village. As you pass the old abandoned manor house, could everyone make for me a spot perception check? So Sky, you notice just in the nick of time movement from inside the manor. That enormous dragon made of scrap, the statue suspended from the ceiling, is now swinging through the front of the building, careening towards the wagon. You have seconds before it hits.
Stop!
Oh fuck! Lucy, I'm not going to say slams the brakes because this is horses. Yeah, yanks the horses to the side, dodging the worst of the impact, but as it swings down, it does catch the roof of the wagon, rips off the tarpaulin, and sends a few boxes down the side of the cliff. Well, it's not a cliff per se, it's more of a long bank tumbling past the canopy of pine trees.
Oh well, let's keep going.
Why have we stopped?
From the front of the wagon, after Lucy takes a few startled breaths, she says, "God, is everyone okay?" You all kind of get out off the wagon again, I assume, to get your bearings. Lucy is reading through a inventory, trying to note down some of the things that might be missing. She looks to you, the guard, and says, "We can't arrive without all the stock, so while I figure out what's missing, I think you guys need to go and get some of that back."
Why are we doing this? We're the passengers. We've paid you.
I'm not a chauffeur.
We'll come back for it some other day.
No, we have to get this to town by tonight.
No, you do. We don't.
Was it important stuff? What
Well,
was
I
it?
mean, it's all important. Do you want to check for, like, if it's your stock that's missing?
Yes, please.
Give me a perception check.
8.
8.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh,
Might be.
It might be. Yeah.
You don't remember every individual item of stuff. But
Yeah, there could be some of my family stuff down there. I'll have to go get it. I'm going to start readying the climber's kit and see who else wants to go down. Right, who's coming to help?
I guess I'll come too then.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Get this over and done with.
Try not to die.
Good.
as you are doing this, Rain actually sidles up to you, Sky, and says, "Look, maybe we don't have to actually get it all back. We could just convince her to move on. Try and get her to cut her losses. Depends what you want to do."
I want to get where I'm going. As quick as can. I feel like fixing the wagon roof is necessary.
I'm
Yeah.
going to sit and watch her fix the wagon roof.
Okay.
Me and Rain will tend to the wagon roof.
What is the Plague Doctor doing?
I'll go with the dwarf on his.
I assume the guard is also going?
Unless you'd prefer me to stick around and look after the stuff that's still in the wagon.
She hears that and thinks, actually, yeah, that does sound good. Okay, so I think we'll do you three first. You stand at the edge of this incline. There is a sort of a threateningly muddy path down on a very steep slope, or there is kind of just directly down, if in case. I believe you said you had a grappling hook and kit.
Do you?
You could probably rappel
There you
down.
go.
Alright, yeah, I'll be very sensible and make sure it's all secure and go down first.
Okay. So I'm not sure what to roll to ask you to attach the grappling hook. I assume
just
like
make
you're
rock
practiced enough with it, yeah. So I'm going to ask you to make an athletics check to get down.
Fair enough.
19.
19.
Yeah, you
Fit as a fiddle.
boss it. You kind of like SWAT team, swivel down, wearing full plate armor and your full backpack as well. It's very, very impressive. You all get, anyone watching gets the impression that this is something this dwarf has done a lot of. And actually, for the success of that roll, you manage to have a stroke of good luck. So you see a good spot to kind of getting halfway down. The rope's kind of caught a little bit when you threw it in one of these pine trees.
Right.
And as you're kind of like reach out and get it untangled to kind of get all the way back down to the floor, you see something that's also got caught in this tree. It's one of the sacks of goods from the wagon.
Sweet, yeah. I'll grab that, tie it to my belt, and carry on down.
It's
safe. Come on down.
What you got?
4.
Oh.
4. Your bonus is 7, so you rolled a total of 11. You don't fall, but this is a very awkward shuffling. Trying to get down the rope because it's wet and you're kind of slipping on the rope a bit, and you've got these really big, heavy gloves on, and it's hard to do in these kind of big, heavy robes as well that you're wearing. So it's a very sort of clumsy descent. But you're walking down the hillside, sort of traipsing through the mud and the underbrush.
Right. Do a backflip down.
10.
So if this was
Very average.
an easy task, that would have been just enough. This is not an easy task because this requires a lot of kind of balance and.
It's just a path, right?
No, but it's like it's slick with mud. It's still raining. It's a very steep slope,
Fair.
so you do slip and fall, peeling your face off the muddy ground. You suddenly hear that murmuring sound again that you heard back in the town, but it's a lot louder now. You can hear it coming from every angle and kind of from the floor beneath you. A myriad of voices, all expressing distress and alarm.
So it's something about these woods that make it more intense. Then I follow the source of the noise. Is there a certain direction that I can go in?
Give me a perception check. You're all playing.
5.
5. You're a little dizzy from the fall. This whole environment is very unusual to you. You've never been in a forest before.
What's all this green stuff? Why is it so noisy?
Plants always talk.
So I'm going to take the cloak off because it's really getting on my nerves. This awful noise. I'm just going to go and try and find the rest of the gang.
Okay, back up at the wagon. Lucy finishes scrolling through the itinerary and kind of checking the stock. Lucy runs over to the edge of the hill and sort of yells down back at search party. Okay, we're looking for a sack of ever-burning torches, a chest of vitality potions, and a crate of pickaxes.
Thanks.
Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, I found a bag. These look like ever-burning torches.
Great. Right. Once you look at these ever-burning torches, you recognise these from your previous adventures that you've been on.
Oh, yeah.
These are a magic item that shed as much light as a flaming torch, but actually never run out. They're not flammable. They're not technically on fire. They just kind of glow with the same intensity. Yeah, be careful with those, please. But yeah, 2 to go. Good stuff. Right, so you've got one down, 2 to go. You're in this kind of a bit of a clearing down here, actually. You can hear a small river running some distance away from you out of sight. You're looking for a crate and a chest.
I'm going to have a look around. 18.
18 plus your 4 is 22. Right, so you can see that there's nothing else has landed in the trees, but you spot a few snapped branches. And you follow the direction of that, and you see some scuff marks. And you follow that trail of scuffed patches, leading to another bramble patch. And you can see that there's something stuck in it.
Yeah, just walk up to the brambles. I'll like poke my axe in
Give it
there
a
so you
poke.
can feel some wood.
Clunk.
Alright. I found it.
So you chop away some of that and get to a chest. On it, you can see written in Dwarven runes, property of Ironbelly Distributions, a subsidiary of the Overland Reach Corporation, 20 vitality potions.
Open up, check if they're all not smashed.
Yeah, they're actually good. This
Awesome.
is a sturdy box, and they're all very well
Dwarven
cushioned.
made.
So all you've got left is
Ooh,
the chest of pickaxes, and that one is going to be heavy. Looking around, you can see there's a bit more sort of undergrowth, and there's also a small cave tunnel entrance.
I think if there are no other parties here, it should have rolled into the undergrowth rather than the cave. So shall we
Yeah.
check there first?
Yeah, good idea.
Who's cutting the trail?
Axeman.
Give me a nature roll, please.
18.
18, yeah, that's good.
Easy.
Yeah, you easily sort of hack and chop a path through.
Laughing as I go. I love the wilderness.
And you very quickly find your way to the river, and you see, sitting on a small rock balanced precariously in the middle of the stream, is the chest of pickaxes. Some of the wooden panelling has become kind of chipped and dented. It's not looking in very good shape, and it's just kind of teetering on that rock as the water kind of rushes past.
Is it like a big river, or?
I'd say it's maybe about 10 feet across.
All right. I'm gonna take out my climber's kit and my rope.
Yeah.
And just like hammer one of the things into the ground and tie the rope and tie it to myself.
Uh-huh.
So I can try and wade into the river, try and get it.
Okay.
If someone could watch the rope while we're across.
Give me, I think, just a strength check to see like if you manage not to get swept away.
Oh.
What did you roll?
1.
So that's a critical failure.
I'm so glad I put that rope.
Yeah, that was well played on your part, because that would be the last we see until before Cyan. Yeah, you are wearing full plate armour as well. Maybe you should have taken that off. Yeah, the rocks underneath you are very slippy, so don't offer much purchase.
Classic.
Yeah, you wade a little far in, and then there's a bit that's a lot deeper than you thought it was, and you are. How long's the rope, by the way? I think it's 50 feet of rope.
Indefinite rope.
Well, you're not a clown. You could have told me at character creation if you wanted to play a clown dwarf. I'm pretty sure
what type
it
of rope is it?
I'm pretty sure it is 50 feet of rope.
Alright.
So you, there you go. And yeah, you two see the dwarf just you're sailing down the river out of sight and around a bend.
Is he still got the torches?
No, you didn't specify that you took those off or any of your equipment.
I doubt. I'd put the chest down.
So the chest of health potions is sitting merrily on the side. Everything else is on his person.
Am I still attached to the
I'm
rope?
still
Yeah.
watching the rope.
Just watching it unravel.
Yeah, it's good. And then it suddenly gets yanked taut around one of the trees on the bend.
That sounded suspiciously like a dwarf breaking his neck.
This is another thing as well, is like you buried that one like tent pitten into some muddy soil on a riverbank, and you are like, how much does Wilbur weigh? So there's only 200 pounds of dwarf tugging on the
So
other end.
it'll stay still like the other rope.
I think you guys see that pit and wiggle.
Oh.
Do I need to grab the rope and pull him in then? Is that
Might be
am I
beneficial.
strong enough for that? Do I need some help?
You have a strength bonus of 0. Hannah, your character has a strength bonus of -1.
So you probably should.
Together we can do it. So we're gonna grab onto the rope.
Just roll a strength check, I think.
12.
If I use this attack, which shows you shifting too, so just instantly, could I use that as sort of momentum to
Yeah.
pull the rope?
Yeah, you can give like a really concerted like yank on the thing. So on 3.
So it's 3.
So the human in front of you like is doing quite a sustained pull, and I think maybe assumed you were going to do that as well. And instead you just kind of very quickly yank it behind him, out of his grip, yanking the pitten out of the ground, and pulling you through like his underarm towards the water with the full weight of the dwarf.
And I'm like,
And I think now all 3 of you are in the river.
no! Can I attempt to swim somewhere?
You better have Here's the thing, has your character ever swum before? Has he ever been in a large body of water to have
You just
learned
dabbled.
to swim? You find yourselves downstream at a shallower part of the river. You're not dead. You sort of pull yourself up onto the bank, one after another. You have lost the sack of torches though. You can see at this point
Not the chest.
the hill above you where the road is, so you're a little bit further down the road now. So if you were going to cut your losses, this might be a good time and place to do it.
I need to at least go back up the river and get like, at least one of the chests.
Yeah.
Like
If
the
you want.
potions.
Are you two waiting for him to do that?
You've got to recover on the riverbank because you've just been traumatised by wet stuff. You don't know what it is.
I know what water is. I'm not an idiot. I read books. I read lots and lots of books.
True, but you've experienced it for its hellish nature.
I'm just gonna sit here for a minute.
Collect your thoughts.
Collect my thoughts.
Back at the wagon, Lucy is looking very, very anxiously down the hill. They've been gone a while.
Good for them. Hope they're enjoying the weather.
So, Sky, you and Rain are patching the wagon back up.
Yeah.
Crafts. 5. You're not doing a great job.
Do you have any experience in fixing roofs?
What do we live in a forest with
Trees.
wood and shit in it? Like there's some
Trees.
shelter built there.
Do you not
with
live
wood
in,
and shit.
I'm very eager to move us all past this. So I think you get your chest back.
I did have an idea to get
What?
rid of
Okay.
stuff.
Okay, let's just keep digging.
Hopefully this is going to be quick.
Okay.
I'm going to go back up to the top,
Yeah.
get the chest I left behind.
Yeah.
I see is the crate still
Still
teetering on that
balancing
rock?
very precariously, yeah.
Alright, I know there's down the corner a shallower bit, so I'm thinking I'm going to tie the rope to the grapple, chuck the grapple out of the box, hopefully knock that off the rock so it goes down to the shallow area and get it. 6.
6. Now it sails all the way past and lodges itself on the rock.
Alright, I'm going to I'm going to yank on the rope.
No.
Hook. Do you want me to leave?
No, this is not me pushing you to leave. This is me giving, I think, pretty fair consequences.
How taut is that rope? I'm
I
going to
mean,
try and pull
the genre we're in at the moment seems to be slapstick comedy.
So-
I'm just trying to come up with this.
that's firmly stuck in there.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's safe to walk on. So I grab that.
And you're now
I'm
like,
grabbing.
holding on
I'm
to this rope
grabbing.
for dear life. Roll another athletics check, please.
I'm going to get that crate.
16. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough. You're like, "Ah!" all this water like rushing past you, in your face, in your beard, in your eyes. You exhaust yourself, but you manage to get up to the rock, and there's the crate.
Have a little breather. I'll shout for help.
You can't
You were
swim.
taking a breather, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm
And you can't
recovered
swim
now.
anyway.
So I go back up the river
Yeah.
and stare at him with asking eyes why. I'll try and make myself useful by taking the crate back up to the wagon.
You going as well?
Yeah. Bye.
What's happened down there? What's going on?
Total disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And we all fell in.
I'm sopping
Yeah.
Have we got any stuff back?
We have this crate of vitality potions,
Yeah.
and that's it. Sorry, Lucy, we lost the torches in the river.
Okay.
Right, who should we charge for that then? Who are we going to invoice for the...
Well, I mean, as the guard, that's probably coming out of your paycheck.
Right, so we went ahead to clear the bad guys that had set the ambush up.
Yeah.
So we did good by that. It's just the trap happened to get a few boxes.
Okay, now this is the
Like-
thing. Like, I asked you to make sure that the way was clear and safe. So actually, you didn't do your job at all because it wasn't safe.
Should we get our dwarf back and then,
Just
and
head
then
onwards.
stab each other in the back later?
How heavy are these? Can I pick up this box?
You can pick it up, but like it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Could he chuck it 10 feet?
That's 5 feet if I'm in the middle.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
sure.
fine. Yeah, you can do that. I'm going to say if you give me a roll for it
Alright.
because you're still very tired and your arms are very sore.
I've had a bit of a rest.
9.
You're not throwing it very far. Clunk. It lands and smashes, and all the pickaxes fall out.
That's fine. I was expecting that.
Can you carry 10
At least it's
pickaxes?
all on the blank.
Alright. How far can dwarves jump?
Let's find out, shall we? There are very specific mechanics for long jumping. I'm just going to say make an athletics check and don't fuck it up.
14.
Yes,
Hey!
you do a very impressive standing jump, which you wish
No one
somebody
was
could
around
I
to
look
see
at
it.
it. Oh,
And yeah, you kind of scoop up the pickaxes on like what's left of like the pallet they were in.
Alright. I'll tie the rope to it and sort of like drag it behind me.
Okay, I mean you could carry it with your arms to avoid it getting further damage. I mean I'm not your dad, so.
Cool.
So as you go down to find the dwarf, you see him so bedraggled, just soaked through, covered in mud, head to toe.
Would you like me to carry some of those pickaxes, mate?
Yes,
Oh,
Very
I'm
good.
loving this accent you're doing for your character.
Thank you. Right, let's get back up there.
Yeah, let's move on from
Yeah.
this adventure.
Let's leave this far behind.
Please. Everyone gets back onto what's left of the cart because the two shifters did not do a great job of patching up the roof so much.
We didn't have
as-
much help.
Sure.
I have a question for Lucy.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you come down here often? It's just I heard voices in the forest.
She's now eyeing you very suspiciously.
I mean, I only hear them when I wear this cloak. So
Well, have
Does that make it
have we
better?
checked out the cloak yet? Like, is anyone good with weird objects? and
yes,
Arcane
we need
relics and
someone who knows arcane.
Yeah, okay, I'll have a look at the cloak.
Okay, give me an Arcana roll.
6.
6, yeah. So what you
For now.
notice is that this has been made with some kind of spirit magic, sort of a lower end magic item, and from the sounds of it, it probably allows whoever wears it to hear nature spirits. So hours pass as you trundle through the rest of the landscape.
Sign awkward silence.
Amanda's been having the worst time 'cause she's wearing really heavy robes.
Yes.
And now they're like 4 times the weight, so she's sort of gradually slipping into a puddle of person on the floor.
How do you breathe in that thing?
Don't worry. Don't worry about that.
So it's beginning to get dark now. Actually, it's getting quite late in the evening, but you approach your destination, the town of Thistledown.
Ooh.
The wagon trundles down the muddy, well-worn track, passing a large cemetery on the left. A single chapel stands at the edge. The high hills angle down to form an opening to your right, sealed by a high stone wall with a gatehouse ringed by a moat. The drawbridge is down, and your wagon rolls over it. As you approach the gates, the wagon stops, and a tall, broad orc woman steps forward, wearing a guard's uniform with a blue striped tabard. Evening, everyone. Anything to declare?
I declare that you are a fine piece of ass.
Well, aren't you a charmer?
Literally.
At that point, yeah, she notices your staff and says, "Oh, you wouldn't happen to be a mage, would you?"
Why?
Well, I'm afraid the only magic that's allowed around here is the sort the gods provide. Don't let me catch you hexing anyone.
I just slowly pull my head back inside the carriage.
Right, I'd like your each of your names, and just for you to tell me what you're doing in town, your reasons for visiting.
My name is Aerith Auguris, and I'm here on business.
Very well. And how about you?
Wanted to go on holiday?
Give me a plus check, please.
Please. 8.
8 plus 3. That is not convincing. I'd appreciate if you were honest with me. And she kind of stands just a little bit taller now, and you can see that she is, let me just find my notes, about 6'4".
I'm here to deliver a message to the church from a priest in my town.
Oh, very well. Actually, roll bluff check again, because that's also bollocks.
5.
5.
Fuck!
She starts to get quite stern with you now. Like, she stands sort of and like folds her
Shit.
arms,
Hands off.
which you
Folding
can
the
see
arms.
are very thick with muscle, and says, "I'm going to ask you one more time, dear. What's your business in this city? You still haven't given me your name."
The end. Meeting someone at the Moorview Hotel.
Well, I'd like to give you to give me a diplomacy roll to kind of express yourself honestly.
11.
11, yeah, that's fine, because you are telling the truth here. That she buys. Then she sort of passes around the wagon, says, "What about you? There's not a pestilence in town, is there? Nothing I should be worried about?
I'm just checking.
Can I get your name?"
Just checking there's no, like...
Can you give me a bluff roll as well, please?
Why do I need to do that? To be perfectly honest. 10.
10. Yeah, that's fine, yeah, she buys that. So, For better or worse, she buys that you're here to just check if there's any plague in town.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well,
Appreciate
need
what you
any
do for us.
assistance in your investigation, please feel free to stop by at the council offices if you need any assistance there.
Thanks.
What was your name, sorry? Dr.
Amanda Nutsloss.
And you can see that the scribe just can't take that down.
Dr.
And
Nuts.
what about you?
Hello, I'm Wilbur Ironbelly. I have some of my brother's stock on board. I'm protecting it.
Very well. So he takes that down. And then over to you two.
Sky and Rain, we're just travelling.
And then she looks to you.
Well, I'm Druck Dust Carver, and I'm making sure that these idiots don't get killed on their journey.
She looks up at the wagon and says, "Looks like you've done a marvellous job of that so far." Looks like you've all been through the woods.
We ran into some kobolds a few miles up in an abandoned village. Was there any sort of bounty on that? 'Cause we totally cleared the nest.
Do you have any proof?
This man's been stabbed in the chest. That's all the proof we have, really.
You've certainly been through the wars, I'll grant you that. There's no specific bounty out for a nest of kobolds, but the wilds are teeming with all sorts of creatures and bandits, and it's the Crown's always very keen to see as many of those cleared as possible. So certainly, I'm sure if you could demonstrate with proof that you contributed to making the environment a little more safe for more travellers such as yourselves, you'd be compensated, but I think you need a little more evidence than that.
Fair, thank you.
So there's suddenly a pulse, because it's quite dark, but there's a pulse of purple light behind the gate. The guard turns around and says, "Oh, is it that time already?" He says, "Alright, listen you lot, my squad are good, and you look like you can handle yourselves. But the streets aren't as safe at night as we'd like them to be at the moment. If you want to save yourselves the trouble, you should probably find some lodgings before it gets too late. And one last thing, if you have any issues settling in, head over to the council offices in the Divine Plaza. Someone there might be able to help you out." So the gates, well, I suppose it's more like a drawbridge. Drawbridge.
I'm totally thinking of
Yeah, it's a
the
drawbridge.
gates from Lord of the Rings in that first village they go to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's more fun. That's more fun. Okay, so the heavy wooden doors with all sorts of like iron barding on them sort of swing open. There's another door behind that, and then that one lifts up, and there's a portcullis that comes up, and the wagon sort of trundles through, and then you hear it all sort of close again quite loudly behind you as you see the orc guard sort of look over some of the notes that the scribe took down. And
Can I quickly do a perception? That sounded like a
Go
lot
for
of defence for such a small town.
go for it.
20.
20. You look at these defences, sturdy, even by dwarven standards. This is a very impressively built, very high stone wall. You notice that was a lot of effort to go to at the gate for security purposes. You are on the very furthest frontier of what's deemed civilization in Postmundus. So based on, I think, your sort of global cultural knowledge as well, you know that the city-state that kind of oversees this town, Beacon Forge, their kind of mission statement, as it were, their sort of strategic tactic is to try and colonise and tame the wilds as much as possible. And so for that they seem to be investing heavily in making very sturdy, well-defended frontier towns that can survive just about anything. And this is the epitome of that you can see so far. You see this before you enter through this gate. Enter this town. So this is Thistledown. It's built into the sort of mouth of a fjord, so very picturesque. You're currently stood on the highest of three sort of tiers descending towards the coastline there. There are large stone walls, similar fortifications to the front gate, though not as heavy, dividing each one of those tiers. At the bottom is a bustling harbour, and it's ringed by hills on either side with a small island in the bay. At the centre of town you can see a very tall spire in the market square, adorned at the top with a statue of a woman climbing to the top. In her open palm is suspended a ball of silver light that softly illuminates the whole town. As you look at it, the light changes colour as another pulse of purple flashes from within it.
Do we already have anywhere designated for us to sleep?
You do not. None of you have ever been here before. So as you get in, Lucy brings the wagon to a stop at a sort of large walled compound on your left. She says, okay, this is the trading company's headquarters. I'm going to deliver what stock we managed to keep in here now. Druick, you'll want to come back here tomorrow morning for payment when the manager's in. But until then, good luck finding somewhere to haul up, I guess. Thanks for not getting us killed. Great to meet you all, I guess.
You sound very convincing.
Actually, roll an insight check, please.
15.
She looks like she is bricking it, having to go in without the full amount of stock.
Should we...
You're going to go in
No, I'm
with
going
them.
to go in with you, aren't I?
I mean, like, you can come back in the morning, but like, I mean, I'm just making the delivery now, so like,
Right,
management's not going to be until the
Okay,
morning.
so tomorrow morning is when we'll show United front.
Okay, well, thank you. That means a lot. I guess I'll see you then. So
then-
you all dismount the remains of the wagon as she sort of rolls it into the compound, and the gates are shut behind her.
Okay.
Get me to a fire. Need to dry off.
My rope
Let's
then.
find somewhere that's warm, does food,
Where is
and
the local
alcohol.
tavern?
So I'm gonna let you loose
Yeah, me too.
now that you've successfully survived the tutorial.
I
I
feel
mean,
ready.
by prologue, I mean the railroaded bit of the stuff where I'm saying this is how the plot's going to go.
Alright, so now it is just.
So yeah,
repeat
now
it.
everything is completely up to your whims.
Where did she say we should go if we wanted to? Is
The
it council
sergeant at the
chambers?
gates suggested the council offices in the Divine Plaza. Well, if you needed help with anything.
Yeah, I was going to go and have a chat with her.
I mean, she won't be there. She's at the
Oh,
gate.
right, okay, I'm going to go back to the gate then.
Okay,
Bother about
cool.
council.
Is anyone else going with Druick as he just walks off?
I mean, we already napped and we haven't done a lot since, so we're not
Yeah.
particularly tired, but we are in a very new environment, so I
Yes.
feel like we would just explore the hell out of this place and
Yeah.
figure out what the shit's going on.
Actually, yeah. Let's address something because you have never been to a settlement this large before, and Rain, you notice, has just been wide-eyed staring from the moment you went through the gate, mouth agape, I think, just looking at all these buildings, the paved floor. There's flagstones
Madness.
everywhere,
Why
wide
did you do
roads,
this?
cobblestone streets, multi-tiered buildings. I mean, Rain's really struggling with this. Like, she's not upset about it. Like, she's just astonished at everything that she's seeing. But you take to this really well. You kind of navigate your way through the
The
buildings. Yeah. You look at like shop signs and things, kind of get a sense of where you are. You find a cottage near the northwestern gate that has a nice, lots of trees near
Lots
it.
of trees. I'll
Yeah.
go there,
Okay, just go
Set
climb
up-
into a tree and
set up camp and
Yeah.
sleep there. Because that's free and I have no money. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
I guess Rain does the
That's-
same.
yeah.
So you guys are just both kind of napping that tree.
Cool.
I guess if there's any signs anywhere for like an inn.
Yeah.
Or
And
We
then-
were going
in
towards the
sort of thing.
morgue.
Okay, yeah, are you looking together?
Yeah, might as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you could roll a streetwise roll each, please.
19.
19. Yeah, you're both on it.
You find it
Good at
helpful.
finding alcohol.
Expert tourists. Yeah. You guess all four of you arrive at the Moorview around the same time.
Dean goes, oh god.
Hello.
This is quite a fine-looking hotel establishment.
It is the best room.
Do we have the money?
Do you have the money?
Probably.
Indeed. So you arrive, and there is the concierge. He is sat at the desk. He is a man with manicured, painted nails that match the pastel green colour of his hair. And he sort of looks up at the four of you expectantly and a little cautiously as you trudge your way in, sodden. And a little bloodstained, and a lot
I'm not
bloodstained.
sodden.
Hello.
You here?
Can we get some rooms, please?
Do you have reservations?
No.
Right. He takes a look down through the ledger. Will those be single or double rooms?
Single, please, for me.
We have our luxury rooms in the Evergreen Suite.
I'll have
That's
one of those.
for 2 gold pieces a night.
Do you have some sort of cupboard?
What's the equivalent of a gold piece to wealth?
£100.
Right.
Wow.
Or if you're looking for something more affordable, shall we say, most of our other rooms are 5 silver pieces a night.
I'll take one.
For 2 nights? I think so.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
Wilbur doesn't
I
have
don't
any
have gold.
gold.
Yeah, dude.
No, you don't.
Oh.
Yeah, combined, you've got like 6.5 gold pieces.
Oh, I thought it was
Combined.
so rich.
In travelling money, you've got you got some like travellers' checks exchanged
Oh.
at the bureau on the way out before you start on your journey. So you've got the equivalent of £650.
Drew, it's not
Um,
fuck all.
How much have I got?
But tomorrow morning, I'll be loaded.
Aerith, you have 334.
Okay.
Amanda, you have 18. Deanna has 1,300. And yeah, Sky, your culture do not have
It
money.
is money.
Yeah, I'm probably
I
going
see.
to head out of here. I got
Perhaps the bunkhouse down at the harbour might be your price range.
We have an engagement in the Coppice suite. I think you
I
said.
see. You will keep it down, won't you? We do have other guests.
Yes.
Up the stairs, last room on the left. So you're heading up to the Coppice suite, sorry.
Yeah.
And you two are heading off to the bunkhouse?
Yeah.
You make your way into the more sort of densely packed, twisting, condensed streets by the harbour to a sort of pub called the Rusty Anchor.
I love it.
I read that as the busty end.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, I see it. Yeah.
I like the busty anchor.
I mean, you can call it that if you like. That can be Dien's.
Someone might have like scribbled on the side.
Defeated it.
Yeah. No, somebody's definitely done that. Somebody's definitely defaced it. And you also find a place called the Bunkhouse, which looks like a more like less high market sleeping establishment. It looks to be where you see a lot of sailors going in and out, just basically for somewhere to crash. Yep. So you open the door, and a pale-skinned, portly man with long, shaggy ginger hair opens you. He's kind of.
Let's go.
Oh, didn't see you there.
Any
But
room?
I'm doing fucking.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by didn't see you there?
Didn't see you there.
I try and get up
He's
as tall
trying
as
to
I
look
can.
taller. He sort of looks down over the desk and says, "Oh, welcome to the bunkhouse. You look like you've travelled a long way. Keith Haddock's the name. Are you needing some lodgings this evening?"
Yes, please. How much are the rooms?
Well, it's not so much a room, so much as it is several large rooms with hammocks in or bunk beds.
Yeah.
So if you feel like sleeping in one of those, you've come to the right place. Yeah, we do charge 2 silvers a night.
I've got 1 silver and a bunch of coppers.
Alright.
What if I just the floor? Just so I'm not outside, and I'll give you all of my money.
Oh, well, you're only 2 coppers short there, darling. I'm sure we can make an exception. Like, you've had quite a day.
Thank you.
Yep. Just find a hammock and drop in it.
Thank you.
So you guys are good.
Yes.
Right. Just before you head off, he says, Master Dwarf there. Bunch of dwarves came through here just a couple of weeks ago now. You'll have to be with them, would you?
Paid my full attention to the man. What were their names?
Oh, I'll have to dig through the ledger for that. I'm not very good at pronouncing dwarven names, I'm afraid.
If you would dig through the ledger, that'd be much appreciated.
Well, actually, that seems like quite bad. Yeah, we have updated our privacy policy. So I'm afraid.
I would really like any sort of names. I really need to find a relative of mine.
Give me
Certainly
a
appreciate it.
diplomacy check to kind of stress the urgency of the fact that you're looking for someone you're concerned about.
15.
I feel bad just giving you the free range of the ledger, but if you tell me who you're looking for, I can tell you if you pass through here.
The surname is Iron Belly.
Iron Belly. Let's have a look. Yes, one Bertram Ironbelly came through here a few weeks ago. It's a friend of yours?
Yeah, brother, actually.
I heard they were going up on an excavation or an expedition of some kind out in the wilderness.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Right, well, hope you find them.
Thank you.
Wish them all the best. Which at last brings us to Deanne Adareth at the Moorview. You make your way into the Coppice suite. Right, okay, so you get to the door and it is closed and there is a do not disturb sign on the door.
Got personality.
You wait a few moments and then the door opens slightly and a young tiefling woman with red skin and ram's horns and feathery blonde hair sort of peeks through the door and says, "Can you not read? It says do not disturb."
As you can see, we are not the average hotel guest.
I do not see that actually. Look, I'm with a client at the moment. Come back in the morning, alright?
No, I reach over her head and push open the door.
You should have, but then like she
Oh
shoves
no,
it back.
I don't want to like brute force it. I just want to like push the door open.
Okay, yeah, but she pushes back.
Okay.
Excuse me. No,
Look,
come
we
back
have
in.
a meeting here.
What, with me? Who are you?
We've been sent from the desert city.
Oh, through our mutual friends, perhaps.
I think you're getting the picture.
Right, okay. Well, be that as it may, I am in the middle of something right now. Can you come back in the morning?
Can you pause your fucking for now?
It's not fucking.
Fine, making
Yet.
love. Making the beast with two backs. We have
I mean,
work
it's
to do.
more making money, but fine. Look, I do have to insist.
Let's go see if we can get the room next to theirs.
Okay.
Did you say that out loud in front of her?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay. So heading back downstairs to buy the room next door.
Yes.
This is one of the more upmarket rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 2 gold each for the night.
Well, you've got fuck all. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll flip the bill. I can afford it. Oh, can I haggle?
Haggle?
Can I haggle for
Go
the
for
room?
it, yeah.
Like, to get it for 1 gold.
This sounds
please.
fun.
I stroll up to the counter,
Mhm.
flick my hair back, and put 1 elbow on the counter.
So
Think you
nice.
can lower the price.
And why would I do that?
Because we'll invite you up later.
I'm good, thank you. 2 gold, please.
Can
That's
I
not-
grab
that's-
Deadly Nightshade and
that's
whisper
not-
to her? Can you not say it's
I have no sex or gender.
If you're not going to pay for the room, I'd ask that you vacate the premises, please.
Okay.
Can I make sure of like swinging my hips and jiggling my gold around now that he said that?
Do you wanna see the
Yes,
podcast?
gold, fantastic. What would be really good is if you could use that to pay for your room. And we can just end this little pantomime that we seem to be.
Oh, fine, I like expensive things anyway.
Well, you could have fooled me.
Oh!
Deanne rolls out his viciously long tongue and blows her raspberry.
Yeah, he looks very startled because you're doing weird, gross magic stuff.
That wasn't magic.
I mean, it's not normal for somebody to have a tongue like that.
I'm just bemused because I'm used to this after
Yeah,
all my
you
travelling
go.
together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he slides you the key and just kind of covers the side of his face with his hand in a resigned sigh.
Who's your beautician, by the way?
Oh, I do this myself.
Very nice. Very nice. I enjoy the green.
Well, this has been fun. Good night.
Good
I'll
night.
need
Good
your
night.
signatures for the guest ledger, by the way.
Alright, I'm gonna write down Jane Appleseed.
Jane Appleseed. Let me just write that down. And what's Aerith writing?
I'm Harold Appleseed.
With a brother and sister of a travelling circus.
So, I think you two settle in to your very nice, cosy upmarket room.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that there are bathrobes prepared. Nice plush sheets, and duvets,
Lovely.
and a bed. You've actually never known this sort of
Where are
luxury
you
era.
on the
Certainly, you haven't actually seen,
Lovely.
you haven't actually seen a bed before. Like usually, you sleep on futon mats.
I've only read about places like this.
Like it was cold outside, but in here it's lovely and warm. You've got the fireplace going, and you're able to warm up. And you both enjoy a very cozy evening. Actually, yeah, you do have a double bed.
You can sleep on the sofa or the floor. I'm not
Okay.
sharing a bed.
Okay.
I'm 7 feet tall.
I'm more comfortable on the floor anyway.
Druk,
Yes.
where were you looking?
I was on my way to try and chat up the guy.
You were, weren't you? Yes.
I sprint back out of the hotel.
Too late.
Oh, NPC love triangle. Okay.
There's little love in this scenario, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
Easy fuck triangle.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You're looking. Okay. So heading back to the gate. I need to psych myself up for this. Okay, fun. So yeah, you make your way up to the gate. I mean, the doors are still barred on the other side because you're in like fighting fit shape for a sexual encounter right now with your like oozing abdominal.
See, I've lost a lot of blood. I'm just. Look, at the end of the day, she's an orc. I'm an orc.
Actually, yeah, that's not unusual.
Let's just give it a punt.
Actually, give me an endurance check, please.
11.
11. Yeah, that's fine.
He just faints in front of her.
Yeah, you're used to like long stretches in the arid scrubland without
Exactly.
food or water.
Exactly.
You're fine losing a little bit of blood. Yeah, go for it. Sorry, you like knocking on the gate?
Roll charm.
I'm sure there's a door on this side actually going into
Yeah, of course.
the
Yeah.
gatehouse.
How do they get in
Yeah.
to their shift?
So you're knocking on the gatehouse door, okay?
A little fun knock to show,
Okay.
to show I've got a personality.
The scribe opens the door.
Not you.
Excuse me?
Is your colleague about?
Sergeant!
Does
And,
she outrank you?
You see, the sergeant come through again. I guess I'd better give a further description of her appearance
Isn't
at
she a
this
lot
point.
taller than you?
Druk's
Alright.
6'2", she's 6'4".
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't make you vulnerable in your masculinity, does it?
It does not. No.
No.
You sure?
She's 6'4", very broad, very sort of sturdy build.
As all good orcish women are.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Body shamer.
She's got pale grey skin, dark grey hair, and blue eyes. It's you again, Mr. Dust Carver, wasn't it?
Yes, thank you for remembering.
It's kind of my job. Is there anything else I can help you with there? You get lost, did you?
No. This is exactly where I meant to be. When are you working till?
Okay, give me... Because you're not being very subtle about this at all, are you? You're going straight for...
That's the orcish way.
What did
I'm
you
going
roll?
to pretend that's a 16.
What did you
not
roll?
a 6.
6. So you rolled a 6 for smoothness.
Yes.
Do you have a bonus? No, nobody trained in diplomacy. None of you. Diplomacy skill, which I'm using to just kind of cover any social interaction where you're not trying to like deliberately fuck someone over or scare them. And she just says, "I'm quite flattered, but I'm just terribly gay, you see." Don't take it too personally. I don't think I've got any friends who are single. I suppose I don't know all that much about you. Tell you, give me a think about it and come back another time.
Now, I guess more importantly, you're not working tomorrow and I'm trying to leave. Because that'd be very awkward.
I think what would be more awkward, infinitely more awkward, would be us trying to schedule when we would not be encountering each other again. So if that does happen, perhaps I could just politely ignore you. I'm happy to do that if you are.
Fair enough.
You have a good evening. Sorry, I'd like to throw this in. I did not do that just to fuck with you. This character is gay.
It's been written that way.
Yeah,
It's fine.
she's been gay for like 12 months at least.
I didn't bother booking a hotel. I sort of thought that'd go bad. Right, I'm going to have a check if there's any sort of doctor place or surgery places.
Apothecary.
Apothecary.
Give me a sweet, or it's sweet.
Sweet
Yeah,
wine.
sweet
Sweet
wine.
roll. Sweet
11.
That was not a sweet roll. Okay, I'm going to say, given that you're in the same district as the apothecary, you do manage to find them. You head across to past the sort of northwestern gate to a sort of verdant garden. Like there's like a herb garden and a flower garden, like a little zen garden,
herb.
and like a nice little pond there. And you find this sort of quite idyllic little cottage, really, considering it's in the middle of this town.
Can you sleep on the street to start the next day?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean you've got your sleeping bag with you.
Done.
And your wound.
And
I mean, you ended up near the
Yeah.
herbalist.
yeah, so I'm just going to
because
wait
you
for him
were
to
looking.
open the next
That
day.
was it. Yeah, you were waiting.
So I said
So you
the
just
herbalist,
camped
so
on
I'm
Yeah,
the
just
actually,
doorstep.
while you're
So
kind
I
of looking
walked
there,
past you.
yeah,
But
as you're like what,
Right,
like sort of wondering whether or not to knock on this herbalist's door, you see both the cat people, but they don't see you. Just kind of foraging around. That's a tree. And like climbing up and just kind of like bunking in for the night among the branches.
Amazing. So I'm just going to kip and wait for them to open.
Just in the garden.
I've got a sleeping bag.
Sounds good. Okay. And with that, we end our first day of Dungeons and Dragons.